Hi, Margaret. As you know, we're about to leave Portland, so Elinor thought it would be a good idea to go see John and Fran for one last time, since it might be a while before we see them again. She invited Mrs. Jennings and I to go with her, but Mrs. Jennings said that she would not be caught dead in the same room with the woman who sabotaged her own brother and stole his fortune. And if Elinor goes, she's encouraging the horribleness. So, in this case, for once, I agree with her. So, she's not back. We're just waiting for Elinor right now, and she's been there for about an hour. I don't know what's taking so long. So, how did it go?
Well, I probably should have listened to you and Mrs. Jennings. I don't think they were mad at us exactly, but they spent the whole visit complaining about Edward and pressuring me about Brandon.
Brandon, why?
They're convinced he's in love with me and that we're gonna get married.
What?
Yeah, little silly. Fran and John were there the whole time, but Robert came in later, and all three of them were asking me leading questions about why Brandon is helping Edward.
Are they angry with him for helping?
Maybe, but mostly they just kept asking, but why is Brandon helping Edward? What's his motivation for doing so? What is Edward doing in return? Etc., etc.
What did you tell them?
Well, I had to tell them that Brandon and I are only friends about 1,000 times. And then I explained that the reason Brandon is helping Edward is very simple. He wants to.
Did they believe you?
Maybe? It was confusing because they were jumping around on topics a lot. I was hoping to just pop in, say goodbye, and leave, but they also wanted to talk about Mrs. Ferris and her reaction to everything. I guess they don't want her to hear about Brandon helping Edward.
Why not?
From what they said, Mrs. Ferris doesn't want to hear about anything good happening to Edward right now, so they're trying to keep the Lucy and Brandon stuff quiet.
But why does she care? She disowned him.
Yeah, I pointed that out too. But John was saying that she still loves Edward, and she's upset right now, but she'll get over it. But in the meantime, they want to keep it all quiet, and they don't want her to find out that Edward is throwing his life away on a girl like Lucy and a charity job, because she'll freak out.
But what do they want him to do? Do they expect him to come crawling back and then do what they want?
Probably. Although it sounds like now they're more focused on Robert. I guess Robert knows the girl Edward was supposed to marry, so they're hoping something happens there.
Do they really want her to turn around and start dating Robert?
Yes. I guess because he has the money now? I don't know. I guess the girl doesn't have any choice. She has to marry one of the Ferris brothers. It's really kind of disturbing. She should run away from the whole family.
I don't think I've ever heard you criticize them so much.
If you had heard some of the things Robert was saying before I left, he was joking around about Edward's problems and making fun of how idealistic and awkward Edward's always been, and I don't know. Edward is twice the guy Robert is, and regardless, Robert should not be making fun of him at a time like this.
I am so glad that we're leaving the whole pack of them.
Yeah. Really, a nice little beach vacation will be nice.
Even if we're stuck with Charlotte. Aren't you glad you're missing all this craziness? Anyway, I guess that's all we have to say, so goodbye.
I'm glad I'm missing some of it. What is Fran's problem anyway? You shouldn't have gone, Elle. Well, anyway, bring me back some seashells and don't get eaten by a shark. Oh, and tell Brandon hi for me. It's really nice what he's doing to help Edward. Well, hurry up and come home already. I miss you. Bye.